I record with the P1000 as well right now. Here we are at the Prince Resort in the Truth Mobile here, and the sun is approaching. So from this vantage point, it would be coming up over the road there, and I'll get out onto the pier as quickly as I can. It should be opening up right now. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit better stability with my tripod anchor. Oh wow, we got some new chairs. That's awesome. The Prince Resort is a wonderful place. There will be a Hampton Inn coming out of the parking lot here, apparently, pretty soon. So we've got the littler swimming pool here, and then the bigger one here that covers the face of the earth. The water fills its container perfectly. Hey, good morning. So there we've got the moon set right there. Good morning, Ron. Hey. There's some of the numbers there. So we can see the sun hitting the clouds out there. So I believe what I'll do is just keep on going out to the end of the pier, and I'll go ahead and get up high. So those clouds are actually getting hit by the sun right now, but we can't see it yet. The sun, that is. At this elevation, they're probably a few thousand feet up. I don't know how tall they actually are. Those clouds right there. I'm going to need to zoom in on the moon right now. I want to show that to you because it's there's clouds getting in the way. That's all part of the factor involved in long-distance photography and videography. The other thing is that the sun is going to reflect off of the moisture, much like high beams in a fog. So in the middle of the view there is the point in Cherry Grove. I've done a lot of videography there and photography. You can see it on my photo album if you care to. This is the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier. You can operate the camera on the end of the pier from a remote location if it's operating right now. Okay, this is as far out as I can get up here. So that's where we'll see it show up. And I'm going to zoom in on the moon as best I can right now. I've got some really high definition photos of the moon that you can see later if you care to. Okay, there's the sun showing up right now, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. So the pier is moving quite a bit, just so you know. I'm going to try and get as stable as I can with that. The sun is definitely not 93 million miles away. It's close, it's small, it heats us up in the midst of the clouds, as Job 37 says, proclaims. So it's the way that the lighting is around the clouds. It's clearly not lighting up the whole big picture. It's much closer and runs a different path. In the winter, it comes up way to the right. I'll show you that after the... Ooh, that's pretty with the pelicans flying at us. Look at how just a bit of clouds will totally block out the sun. If it were behind all those clouds, it would look way different. That's the point of it. Not that small localized lighting. It would light up all those clouds from behind. And the moon is barely visible now. I'll zoom in a bit. You can see it on my P1000 recording later if you care to. I just wanted to establish the location at the last minute because that's it. That's all I get for today on that. Many of us believe the Santa Claus lie because it was presented to us as young children as unquestionable reality. We had weather people, NASA, NORAD, Santa and his flying reindeer seen on the radar flying over Lake Michigan. I remember seeing that on the news. I was a young kid. I didn't know any better. And then, right about the time that I realized that was a lie, was the same year that we had the moon landing hoax. Another lie that was presented as unquestionable fact. And why would our government lie anyway? Why would Satan lie? Did God really say in the Garden of Eden? Yeah, he did. You can look it up if you care to. Genesis 3, the fall of mankind. And so God's word in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody forever, they refused to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So it's beyond satanic trickery. God is going to help accommodate the wishes of Satan's children to believe the lie they apparently want to believe. You can become as gods. Yeah, transhumanism, the transpocalypse, the transgender, all of that. The merging of technology in machine and humanity. For gosh sakes, they wouldn't let us, when I was a kid, use calculators on a test. Now they want to stick them in our head and connect them through the hive mind of the cybernetic collective, a tracking, tracing, databasing, and programming chip, and more. The mark of the beast, I believe, is a birthmark of Satan's children. God's children will not take the mark. I'm one of God's children. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be a child of God that's actually born again. Not all of God's children are born again yet. Some of them aren't even born the first time, let alone born again. One of the reasons for the zooming in and out, just so you know, is to show that, wow, it's not lighting up everything big. It's a small localized light, is what it is. And we don't know the distance between continents. Don't know how big this is here. How big the puddle is that all the continents rise out of, like a clay seal. You can look up the biblical references to creation if you care to. As a biblical creationist, I'm unapologetically biblical. Okay, look at the small width of that light moving across the water. As it gets closer to us, it's going to get wider and wider. That's just what it does. If it was 93 million miles away, it would look different. Now we can see the moisture getting lit up by the sun. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? Well, it depends on the temperature. The temperature changes the density and volume of water. It changes the state if it changes enough. With nuclear power heating up water or coal or steam, we've got turbines that move. We've got evaporation, condensation, precipitation in all its forms with delayed release of mountain snows, ice melt, ice pack, all of that. We live in a created environment, a created world. We're not the thing of stardust. We're created by God, and He told us what this was all about in His Word, the Bible. Now, I understand there's a lot of holy books, or what are referred to by many as holy books. As far as I understand, the Bible is the only one that actually is. The rest are counterfeits and imposters. So I had a friend explain on a video, he copied and pasted it. It's in my liked videos about how to take a P1000 live. And I will probably progress to that. I may. One of the advantages of going live and having it on my iPhone 10 and recording with the P1000 is I have a higher quality recording and a recording that I keep on my own stuff. That's one of the benefits to that. I don't know if I can record and archive that live broadcast if I use this as my live device. So this way I get an authentic or pretty close to 4K video on the iPhone 10, not zoomed in, which looks different and gives you a different perspective than the zoomed in view. So it's two, it's not just one recording. I get two out of this. So today we saw where the sun came up. In the winter, the sun comes up way over in the middle of the view there, way over here. Pretty much where the moon came up last night. Now the sun set over the top of the water tower there last night. So the path that the sun and the moon travel above the stationary Earth is an obvious clue that it's not the Earth that's moving. They're moving in two different paths, so it's not a uniform rotation that would provide that. Also, in the middle of the view right now, if the sun were truly 93 million miles away, it would be lighting up all the clouds, not that localized little spot. So that's the reality of that. And the truth isn't determined by popularity or popular opinion because, well, quite frankly, the truth isn't popular. God determines the truth. He is ultimately the way, the truth, and the life. Tells us all about it in His Word. The other advantage that I get with the multiple recordings, having the live broadcast on YouTube with the iPhone 10, is I've got a Sennheiser surround sound microphone that has a transparent microphone, so I can hear my voice. It doesn't sound like I've got my fingers stuck in my ears. So it's a broadcast quality advantage. Sound recording advantage. So I'll weigh out the benefits and the drawbacks. So I'm going to go ahead and pan on around and just show you what it looks like out here. And I'll get right back to where the sun is. See, right on the buildings here, we can tell that the sun is shooting over the top and hitting the buildings. It's more of a direct sunlight. We can see that by the intensity of the shadows and the intensity of the light, the contrast. So that's the Myrtle Beach skyline. We're anticipating roughly 20 million guests to come here this year. And of course, we're about halfway through the season. There we get the hot spot, the sun coming out of the clouds, slicing through the clouds. Nestled in the clouds. takes less than a day to hear the entire New Testament. I've done it thousands of times because I wanted to. No matter how many of the actual conspiracies you're able to determine, still need to be born again to even see the kingdom of heaven. So if you care to go through and take a look at my content, you'll see the different seasons, the times of the day, different temperatures, long recordings, actually broadcasts of the Bible over almost 12 hours long, some of it. And then I'll have zoomed in content with a P1000 or a P900 that I started using about 3 years ago. That has, there's a tremendous amount of content there. Okay, so in the view right now, zoomed in, to me it's definitely obvious that the sun is in the midst of the clouds. It's small, it's local, and it's what's moving. And the water's moving, the wind is moving, just not the earth. So one of the other benefits that I bring to the discussion is my liked video playlist has quite a few videos that cover content from the military-industrial complex, the medical-industrial complex, artificial intelligence, mind control, all of that, where we are in our human history. Now, I don't know everything. What I do know is whatever God wants me to know and talk about. So that's the important reality, as best I can tell. So I just took us down a little ways. Wanted to give us a little bit different vantage point. So the Cherry Grove Pier faces southeast, slightly east, mostly south. I've got high quality drone content on my channel as well. Beautiful video from all around the world. That's available. The photography and videography would be clues to the world that we live in. talented photographers from all over the world have shown us the beauty of this. We're looking at a sea level liquid mirror. People are reflecting off of the wet sand. They're reflecting on their lives, past, present, future. It's a symphony of humanity that come out here. Now, I want to show you the light reflecting off of that building, the sunlight right there. And I think, yeah, I'm probably moving into it a little bit better right here. That's pretty good. So it's a mathematical equation. We get the sunlight shooting off of the building, reflecting off of the water. It's just what it does. Beautiful. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Feel free to reach out anytime you like. I'm going to keep the live broadcast going and start another